I was wrong. Not every good story has to start off with a good death. Some good stories start off with a nice, sharp knife in the back. We continue this amazing story of the Void Rivals. Two people of two different factions coming together to support each other. We should have known the ending was not what we thought. We pick up where we left off with Derek and Saul on the ship they got from the bounty hunter. She wanted to know how they were going to proceed because they couldn't just waltz in one ship. They were mortal enemies. But Derek had thought about this. This ship has escape pod capabilities. Both of us will take one each and go to our people and tell them the good news that there is nothing to hate from each other. We are practically one people. But Saul, however, found this extremely hard to believe. I mean, it was very logical, yes, but the second they got in range, she knew this was all wrong. So she had to make a move first before he did. As soon as they approached their planet, it finally dawned on her that they could have died so many times. But here they are, back home. So she wanted to tell him thank you, and she wanted to actually mean it. Thank you for having hope, because if it was not for you, we would have died. I was ready to give up. And he said, you're welcome. Good luck with your people. But she said, nah, don't worry. I don't need luck. You do. Before striking her staff on the floor and electrocuting him, knocking him out instantly, she apologized. I'm sorry, but I can't go to my people empty-handed. She started to change course, but she must have forgotten about Handroid, the robot that is his hand. With all of his strength, he tossed Derek's body into her, picking up the blaster and aiming it directly at her face. Turn the ship around, now, or I will kill you. But she was a warrior. This did not intimidate her. She said, what happens to you if I kill your body? And the android knew, yeah, let me just surrender. She was also smart enough to know if she tried to take off the glove, she would probably get the shock of her life. So she left it on, and she landed in her home. On the surface, though, the leader of her people was getting all the bad news all at once. Water was running out. His people were starving. They were dying. But suddenly a guard comes in and lets him know a ship, an unidentified ship, has come through. And instantly he knew it was Saul, because he knew what she was capable of. So he said, scrap this meeting. Let's go welcome Saul. Derek was pissed off. He thought they were friends. You betrayed me like this? She tried to apologize. She had seen his noble qualities, but they were still enemies. And she had a whole lot of people trying to survive. She had to be there for them. But she didn't count on Derek being as smart as he was. He had already figured out that they were more desperate than his people. They were sending out warriors instead of regular pilots. That means something. So she told him straight up, you better keep that shit to yourself. Because if they found out you know, they will kill you on the spot. Now, let's go. As she stepped out of the ship, everyone was here. Men, women, children, soldiers, their leader. He even commanded his guards to go pick up the animal, because that's what they considered this other race. He was a monster. Even the children were terrified. Mothers were covering the eyes of their children. They had bought into the delusion that these people were monsters so deeply, the sheer sight of him was horrifying to them. So knelt down a failure. But her leader said, why would you kneel? You have brought us a gift. He is a bargaining chip. But somewhere in space, the bounty hunter was trying to make his money, and his first stop was Cybertron. His first stop was Shockwave. But Shockwave didn't give a fuck. You brought me a Quintesson to do what? You want me to pay you? I ain't got no money. We are in a war. My people are dying. The bounty hunter tried to play the they're your mortal enemies card, but Shockwave didn't give a shit. Take this garbage out of my face before I strip your ship for spare parts. So the bounty hunter said, okay, my bad. I'm out. Back with Saul and her emperor, though. She was curious. She wanted to know what will be done with the prisoner. And he let her know straight up, don't worry about it. He's going to be taken care of. As soon as his people give us our demands, we will return him. And she said, good. This was her mistake, because he picked up on that. Good? Do you care for this creature? She tried to play it off as no. We just had a run-in. We almost killed each other. Our ships crashed. We were forced to build another one. We battled a bounty hunter. We battled a monster. We stole a ship. Or rather, we took a ship. A lot has happened, my king. But she didn't know she was just digging her hole deeper and deeper because he got close, inches from her face, and asked her a simple question. Did you take off your helmet in his presence? And she froze because she knew at this moment he was one of the people keeping these lies, and she had just delivered herself to him. Derek, however, was still pissed, and now him and Android were trying to strategize on how they were going to escape. But this prison was solid. There was no escaping. The android made it clear that, bro, you need to chill. They're not gonna kill you. They're probably just going to torture you for information or use you as a bargaining chip. You're not going to die. This alone made Derek chill a bit. But the android, being super honest, had to let him know, my bad, during moments of crisis, I'm supposed to give scenarios that will lift your spirit. I'm pretty sure that will probably not happen. And Derek was like, what the hell? But before he could scream, he heard the door open. They were coming. But funny enough, they were not taking someone out. They were throwing someone in. Saul was being thrown in because she was now branded as a traitor. Derek, after making sure she was okay, asked why is she here, and she simply said, yeah, they know about us. And Derek was silent. He looked at her and said he knows. He didn't even need to see my face. He just knows. He was shocked. But then his shock turned to happiness. You did all of this. You turned on me just to be thrown in a cell with me. How do you feel? He started laughing, and she felt absolutely terrible. She had made a mistake, but the leader was going to fix it. But first, he had to make communications with someone. When he got to his private quarters, he made a call and spoke to someone. But this person was not spoken to as a servant. It was an equal or maybe a superior. He wanted to inform this individual of what has happened. They have a pilot, and this pilot you would recognize because this pilot is your son. And we see Derek's father, the leader of the rival colony, and he was unforgiving because he knew what had to be done. He knew what had to be done to protect the secret. So all he could say was, Derek has been lost to me for the longest time. Do what you need to do before cutting the call. But we see he wasn't as stoic as we thought, because at the end of the day, this man was still a father, and he just ordered his son be put down.